Guys, after careful deliberation over many years, I am completely convinced that we need to be a meritocratic society to some degree. I mean, think about voting. I was just thinking about this now. Imagine that an 18-year-old who knows nothing about life, who may have studied nothing about society, who may never even have worked a job, who knows nothing about taxes, nothing, is just given a vote just like that. I mean, this has to be a trick of the devil. I mean, seriously, because a vote is a great responsibility. And to have such a great responsibility, you must have gone through some things in life. How can you just give a kid a vote? I mean, that's how the devil operates. It's like the liberal ideology, right? Where they just pander to your emotions to get your vote. So let's say they get kids voting. All they need to do now is try and play on your emotions and show you something that they think that you like to get you vote and then to vote for something that is not good, maybe, most likely, but just because they're playing on your emotions. I know that there are lots of adults who are also vulnerable to such things, sadly. But at least I think society would be a lot more responsible if we had certain parameters, let's say, or criteria that you have to meet before you can have a vote. Let's say you have to have worked for a couple of years. You have to know what it is to pay taxes. You have to know different things. You cannot just be given a vote at the age of 18 just because you're 18. I think it's a bit absurd, man. And I'm putting this out there because I also think that it's important for families, for people in general to educate people around them about life and the values of life. And this all starts with knowing the Lord Jesus Christ, man. That's the beginning of everything. You need to understand the ways of God. I look at America, for instance, man, a country that apparently was built on Christian principles, and look how far it has strayed. And do you know why America could have strayed the way it has? Because it's a little leaven leveled the whole batch, like I said in the Bible. You need when once you allow the door, we open the door to some nonsense, more nonsense comes in, and more nonsense comes in, and more nonsense comes in, and more nonsense comes in. For instance, there was a time when women were not allowed to vote. If you talk to people about that today, they're gonna be like, "Oh, it was such a terrible time," blah 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 blah. But the reason why, I'm guessing, actually, I'm not guessing, I'm stating, the reason why women were not allowed to vote was because women were not trusted with voting because men presumed that women were not as rational as men, which generally speaking is true. Now, today, we're living in a society where men are becoming very dull in mind or have become very dull in mind, and men and women both, to be honest. And I'm not saying that they are not rational women, but the caretaking of society primarily belongs to men. And I state this even now today. I do not believe that, let's say, in a family, that let's say a man and his wife have two votes and a man can vote for one person and the wife is voting for another person. That is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The family is supposed to be a unit. I would say one vote for that family until the kids get to a certain age and have passed a certain criteria where they are adults enough to make their own votes. And I don't believe a woman should be voting against what her husband is voting for. I just think these things they open the door for a disjointed, disorganized society where the devil is just creeping in. I think, look, man, it's just like the divorce thing. Divorce in the first place is not of God. But when the courts created this system where men could be destroyed by divorce, even women who had no intention of doing these things, it's like the door is open and then you're allowing the devil to come tempt you to do evil. You know what I'm saying? It's like once you open the door for something, you have it like as a plan B or as an option in your mind. And human beings tend to take bad options when they have the options kept away or stored away. Not everybody. But I think we're allowing too much room for evil, too much room for it. We now complain and talk about all the rights and everything, all these nonsenses that the devil will take a thing. He'll take one bad case of somebody abusing somebody or something and then try and play it up to bring in his own agenda, for instance. Of course, there are men who have mistreated women. There are men who have mistreated men, and women who have mistreated women, and women who have mistreated men. But then the devil will play up our situation and then try to use it to manipulate us all. Bro, society is largely in decay, but we're trusting the Lord Jesus for many souls to be saved nonetheless, even in these last days. Even in these last days. And I hope people listening to me, even women who listen to this, understand what I'm saying. I'm not anti-woman, because you say these things and they think you're anti-woman or whatever. But I think there must be order and a hierarchy in society. That is exactly what I believe. And let's say, taking voting for instance, I believe that if you're going to say men and women should vote, at least let there be a criteria of things that you have gone through before you get there. And I personally would not entertain that a woman is voting against her husband, for example, if they're married. I think, as a godly concept, this is what my opinion, that it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all. But anyways, these a lot of these things I'm saying are my opinion. Some of these things are based on facts, and you guys can let me know what you think, man. So God bless. Have a great day.